Alright, so it appears this channel is going to be not a lot different than my other channel where everything's just kind of crappy. Just the quality of video and the sound and everything, how I look. But what got me going here tonight was a fellow here at work asked me who are my favorite fighters of all time. And the first three were real easy. You know, I busted off Anderson, Lyoto Machida, Max Holloway. 1, 2, and 3 was real easy. And then when we got to 4 and 5, I had to name about 10 guys to come up with my 4th and 5th favorite fighter. So then we got into a top 10, a top 15, and we both just kept throwing names out there. So then I got out a paper and pen, started to write down 10. Couldn't even get through that without maybe having to add names. Had a bit of an honorable mention. Didn't write the honorable mention down here, I see. Eddie Alvarez, Rampage Jackson ultimately ended up on the honorable mention of my top 15. My top 15, I narrowed it down to, like I said, Anderson, Lyoto, Max, 1, 2, and 3. I mean, Anderson's wins over Chael, the front kick of Fedor, the win over Dan Henderson. I mean, he even had some fights with like Talis Latis and Damian Maia, and then a bunch of the losses at the end, I know. And, there were some questions about performance-enhancing drugs and whatever with Anderson. But still, as of now, and probably will remain for a long time, my favorite fighter ever. Right behind him, another Brazilian with some awesome front kick KOs, Lyoto Machida, the Randy Couture. He also got Vitor, his knockout of like Thiago Silva, Rashad Evans. Even the fight with Shogun that he won the decision, then he lost. Has always been a big Lyoto guy. Tried to go up, went down to 185, had some big wins, head kicked Munoz. I think he broke a couple of ribs on CB Dalloway with a kick. So I got Lyoto at number 2, and then Max Holloway, active UFC fighter, getting ready to fight Volk for the 3rd time. I mean, I don't know, the Calvin Kattar fight, the Yair Rodriguez fight, the Jose Aldo fights. Every Max fight's pretty much awesome. And then, like I said, once I got to that, then it started getting a little tough. I stuck with Wonderboy at number 4. From his debut against Sitchin. I think it was Dan Stitchin. And then the wins over like Johnny Hendricks. Who's the other guy I'm thinking of? The hard-hitting welterweight there. Oh, man, I can't even think of the guy's name right now. Oh, it's killing me. The guy he knocked out. The guy that was talking shit about the spinning kicks. Damn, what was that guy's name? Good, strong, hard-hitting welterweight. I'm just picturing Jake Shields' face right now. But anyways, enough of that guy. On to Chuck Liddell, probably, I guess, the oldest fighter. Well, there's a couple guys there from Chuck's era. Maybe guys that lasted a little longer than Chuck. But obviously, when he was on his KO streak, the wins over Tito, Babalu Sabral, Chuck always an action fighter. Even in some losses then, he was still fun. Overeem, I got the Reem at number 6. And then I started thinking about it. The Reem, definitely the most losses on this list, I believe, but then had some memorable wins. The fights over in Japan, and then I believe he had a fight or 2 in Strike Force, maybe just a fight in Strike Force, and then the big win over Brock when he was just total Ubereem. Derrick Lewis coming in at number 7, the win over Volkov. Bunch of other KOs on the list. The Blagoy Ivanov when he beat Alexei Olenek. The fight, okay, then there was the fight with Francis. The losses to Daniel, not the brightest moments on Derrick's resume. Then I got at 8 and 9, Nick and Nate Diaz. And then a Dawkins win by Lewis. Now that Lewis has gotten to the top, he's running into trouble. I got Nick and Nate at 8 and 9. Got Nick just ahead of Nate, probably because of the more exciting finishes. Maybe my favorite Nick fight was the Paul Daly fight, BJ Penn fight, Ken Shamrock. Those were great ones. Nate, I like to watch the Gray Maynard fight, the fights with Michael Johnson, the 2 fights with Conor. Then we got Wanderlei Silva at number 10. Hard to put Wanderlei at number 10 with the awesome career he had. But, like everybody on this list right now, like I said, it got tough after 3. If I make this list every day, this order could be different. And then right after Wanderlei, most of his big wins came in Pride. Then he had the crazy fight with Brian Stann in the UFC. Then there's Vicente Luque, a guy who is quickly climbing up the list. By the time Luque's done, he might be in the top 5. His fights with, his fight with Brian Barberena, his fight with Michael Chiesa, some of my favorites, and then he dusted off the big tall Jalen Turner, who's now a lightweight. And then after Luque, I got Conor McGregor in there. Conor, a guy like Anderson Silva that's falling on hard times right now. But my God, the rise of Conor leading all the way up to the Aldo fight, you know, over Brandao. The Eddie Alvarez fight in there was amazing. The 2 Nate fights, win one, lose one. Then I got GSP, maybe not the most exciting fighter. He made the list based on the comeback win over Michael Bisping. That got GSP in my top 13. And then the only guy on the list to never fight in the UFC, but a guy that I will still watch to this day, and just did a few months ago on Showtime, Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor is, you know, all of his old Pride fights, almost every one of them were amazing. He had a little bit of run in Strikeforce, not the greatest run. In the Brett Rogers fight, I believe, maybe in Elite XC it was. And then the Nogueira fights. And then, like I said, even the recent one, I tuned in, sitting there on like a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. And then Matt Brown, had to get Matt Brown in there. His recent fight with Barberena, his fights with Robbie Lawler. He had a scrap with Wonderboy back in the day. That was amazing. Knocked out Mike Swick. That was one of my favorite Matt Brown moments. So like I said, I'm telling you, it's tough. Try doing this. If you happen to find this video and you have favorite UFC fighters, once you get past your first 3, man, it gets tough. Wonderboy at number 4, all the way down to Matt Brown at 15. You know, a lot of them kind of interchangeable. I'd probably keep GSP and Fedor at the bottom of the list. I mean, on any given day, though, Luque, Nick, Nate, Derrick Lewis. I mean, there's times Derrick Lewis could be number 4 on the list. All right, guys, I've rambled on long enough. Boom. Like I said, the top 3 is easy. So if you happen to find this video and you made it this far, hit me with your top 3 below. And a sub, why not? Starting a second channel just to see if I can get to 1,000 subscribers on this one, too. Got to like 12,000 on the other one, and now I've kind of petered out. Boom. Still ending with the boom.